Hey everyone, AJ from Didge Project here, and today I'm going to show you how to put a beeswax mouthpiece on a didgeridoo. This is a eucalyptus didgeridoo brought here by Lewis Burns from Australia, and this is a beeswax mouthpiece in this round shape, which we're now selling in our store, didgeproject.com. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take this beeswax, which is in a hard form, and you want to soften it. So what you do is you add heat. To add heat, what I have here is some hot water. I have a cup of boiling water, just boiled, and a cup of cold water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it to a nice warm temperature by mixing the cold into the warm, and then I'm going to drop the beeswax mouthpiece in. Just about 50-50. Drop the beeswax mouthpiece in, let it sit for 1 to 2 minutes, and you can just check it as it goes. You'll notice it starts to get this creamy texture, kind of, you know, it looks like it's sweating a little bit. If the water's too hot, it will start liquefying and it'll look like oil is getting into the water. So you don't want that to happen. You just want to soften it, and I can see that it's starting to look a little creamy on the outside, so this is a good sign. So this is a single piece eucalyptus didgeridoo, but you can do this on any didgeridoo. You can do this on bamboo, and you can also do this on homemade didgeridoos like a PVC pipe. So this beeswax mouthpiece is really good to turn any tube into a playable didgeridoo. The point of beeswax is to make the opening a little bit smaller. This opening is a little bit too wide for my mouth. And what the beeswax does is it's going to not only make it softer, but it's going to make the hole smaller. It's going to make the opening the right size for a didgeridoo for my mouth. So let's check the wax here. It's getting soft, it's good, but as I squeeze it, it's still hard in the middle. I can tell that that water's pretty hot, so it is definitely doing its work. So I'm not going to make it any cooler because I don't see any oily spots in the water, but it is nice and warm. It's actually hot, I can't keep my hand in there too long. I'll let it sit for a moment. Now all traditional eucalyptus didgeridoos, I should say almost all that I've seen, do have beeswax mouthpieces, but a lot of modern didgeridoos will have their own mouthpieces built into them out of wood, and you'll see a lot of didges will actually have a taper at the top where it kind of comes together and closes in. Alright, we're getting there. Now I can pinch through it so I know we're getting close. I'm just going to squeeze it around a little bit. Alright, so you can see some places where I've pinched it. I'm just going to let it try to pinch all the way around to get it a little bit flatter. And it's okay to change the shape, but having it start in this ring is really, really nice because you can just start it right on. But if you have just a straight bar, that's fine too. Just drop the bar in, roll it with your hands, and get it into this ring shape before you put it on the didge. Or you can even lay it on and kind of make the ring right on top of the didge. The main thing is you want to make full coverage, all the 360 degrees of the circle. All right, so I think we're ready now. And here we go. I'm going to put it onto the didge mouthpiece. So let's get ready here. So I'm going to start right on top. And the first thing, and probably the most important thing to do, is to push it down on the inside of the didge. You want to make the primary seal is the inner seal. So this beeswax, I'm taking my finger and I'm pushing it down and in. And it is a little bit wet. That's okay. You do want to let it dry out afterwards. And I'm pushing it in. And I want to go down at least, at least half an inch from the top of the didge. I want the beeswax to go in at least half an inch. Now this is probably more beeswax than I need. But what I'm going to do is try to take a lot of the excess and push it in to make an extra good seal on the inside. Because all this stuff on the outside, you see a lot of didges that have a lot on the outside. That's not really going to help too much. It's not going to help you play any better. It's not going to help the seal very much. So any excess, you could either just skim off and throw it out, or you can push a little more inside. Make sure you have a really solid seal there. Alright, so I'm getting the inner seal all good. Don't worry, it looks messy on the outside. I'm going to get to that, but the inner seal is primary, and that's the first thing you want to do. Alright, then now as a player, I kind of choose how open or closed I want it. I can have a bigger opening or a smaller. I personally go for about 1 1/8 of an inch diameter of the inner diameter of the mouthpiece that I'm making. Some people like more like 1.5 inches, which is, for me, that feels too big. So what I'm going to do is kind of now pinch around, and I'm going to try to make a nice surface to rest on my face when I'm playing it. Okay, I'm getting there. And beeswax is a flexible medium, so you can keep working it, and say a week from now I'm not entirely happy with it and I want to reheat it, I can either take the whole thing off and put it in the water again, or I can just get a heating element like a heat gun or a blow dryer and just, you know, go around, heat it up until you see it start to sweat and soften, and then I can work it again. Also, you know, if you leave beeswax out in the sun on a hot day, especially in summer, it could get hot enough where it might melt on its own, or just hot enough for you to work with. So this is looking pretty good. No, it's not my finest work, but as far as like being the right size opening, it looks like it's really good. Again, there's a lot on the outside. I didn't even have to really press it on the outside. The outer seal just kind of made itself as I formed the shape. And I'm kind of going around with my thumb like this also, and I am pressing it down. So I am doing some work on the outside. But the outer seal is not really, it is important, but it's not the primary seal. Having it sealed on the outside though will make sure that no air is escaping. So that feels pretty good. And I'm going to lift it up now and play it, see how it sounds. So let's check out the final product. Now that you know how to make a didgeridoo mouthpiece out of beeswax, the next thing you should do is check out the different kinds of didgeridoos available in our new didgeridoo comparison. In this video, we show you all different types of didgeridoos, the pros and cons of each one, and why you might choose one or the other. Check it out and let us know what you think.